Hello beautiful people, and welcome to another one of my videos. This is going to be a video on 10 reasons why Australia is a great place to live. So we are an Australian/South African family currently stuck in Australia due to circumstances. I'll link some videos down below and you can go have a look if you want. And I thought it would just be really interesting to make a video on reasons why I feel like Australia would be a great place to live. This might be interesting if you are thinking of immigrating to Australia or just kind of want to see what the life is like here. I have made a few videos, I think 2 of them in the past, on differences between South Africa and Australia. If you'd like to go check them out, I'll also link them down below. So, the first thing is freedom. There is a lot of freedom in Australia, whether that is freedom for individuals on the way you want to dress, the way you want to behave, the things that you want to do. Also security, safety, there's a lot of freedom in terms of not needing really high fences a lot of the time or really secure alarm systems. It's quite a fairly safe country. It clearly depends on which part of Australia you're living in, whether it's a major city or it's a small little town. It varies a lot, but generally it's quite a safe country. There is also public transport that has to do with freedom. So if you are younger or a younger child going to school, you'll see here on buses and trams and trains and things like that, a lot of school kids going to and from school. So there's a lot of freedom. If you also don't have like a motor vehicle, you can kind of get around and do things. We currently don't have a car at the moment, so we have just been traveling via bus or tram. It's been really, really handy. We can, in the town that we're in, so we're in Adelaide City, it's not a town, it's a city, and we have just been using the public transport system and it's been really, really great. The second point is that it's very multicultural. So you can see a diverse range of different cultures coming together. There are people from all over the world that live here. When you go into the city, you see so many different types of people. Everyone's kind of mingling in together and joining into the one society, which is really lovely to see. You get to learn a lot about different people's cultures. And if you go to school, you're going to school with children from all over the world. And I guess Australia is a country made up of a lot of different cultures and religions and things like that. So it can be very diverse. And if you are from a different country, you're most likely not going to feel too out of place because there are so many people who are from foreign countries living here. Another one has to do with the countryside. There's space and a lot of fresh air. So if you're moving somewhere from a city or a country that's just like really populated and there are a lot of people living there, it might be nice to get out into a place that just has a lot more space. Australia is a really big country. There are so many different types of living situations that you could choose from. I mean, from going to living in the outback somewhere on a cattle farm, to living in a city or living somewhere in the mountains, or just on a farm, like doing agricultural work or farming. It's very diverse. There's a lot of fresh air and I really enjoy that about Australia. Another point is job opportunities. So in Australia, I think a lot of people are moving towards becoming entrepreneurs and starting their own businesses. There is a lot of room and help from the government in starting your own business, and there are quite a lot of job opportunities. There are a lot of jobs here that could allow you to get by, such as waitering as well, that could help you to survive if you haven't found a job yet or haven't started a proper career or anything like that, or you're just not invested in those kind of careers. So there are a lot of different types of job opportunities, and I love that the country is heading a lot towards entrepreneurs and people starting their own businesses. I know that also dependent on if you are immigrating or whether you are a citizen and what kind of visa you're on, you also get help from the government if you aren't able to find a job for a certain period of time. There are requirements in the application, such as like having to apply for a certain amount of jobs per month and things like that. But it's really, really helpful that the government is able to assist families in their financial needs. Another point is the schooling system. So here you have public and private schools. Public schools obviously mean that you don't have to pay for the school, and private schools are a little more expensive and a little more, I guess, exclusive. But both of them, I'm pretty sure in most places, work really, really well. And the schooling system also depended on a whole lot of factors, but you can apply for a subsidy through Centrelink, which allows it to be a little more affordable. They will pay a certain amount, like a certain percentage of school fees, dependent on your circumstances, how much you earn, if you're on a visa, if you're a citizen, those kind of things. But it's really great that there are both types of school options available. So both the public and the private schooling seem to be quite accepted here. So whether you go to either of those, I'm not entirely sure on that one. You would need to correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But from what I could tell, both are quite accepted here. Point number 7 is the laid back culture. So Australians are quite laid back. It's quite well known here that people don't often stick to like time schedules and things like that. A lot of businesses close quite early and open quite late. There is quite a large influence on family lifestyle here because the salaries are so competitive, and it's possible to earn quite a good income depending on where you live in Australia. There is a big emphasis on also stay-at-home mothers and things like that, or fathers staying at home with the child to take care of them. And there's a lot of emphasis on just like having a great family life. I'm sure it depends on whether you're working in a city and your salary and all those kind of things. But there is a great emphasis on work-life balance here, which is really great. Point number 8 is child-friendly activities. So I've lived in South Africa for 8 years now, and when I had my daughter, I'm now 22 weeks pregnant. I'm now 24 weeks pregnant, and we have a 2.5-year-old. And in South Africa, I found it quite difficult to find child-friendly activities to do. There weren't a lot of mothers groups and things like that. But in Australia, it seems like there are a lot more opportunities to meet up with people. For instance, most libraries, I'm not sure if all libraries, have like story time, toddler time, sing time. They do activities and school holidays. There are a lot of mums groups and meetups. A lot of daycares and childcare centers actually have free days where you can come and just like literally come with your infant and meet up with other mothers and kind of get support through that. There are also playgrounds, in every suburb there's playground. You could go to the beach with your children, which is fantastic. So I just find that it's really supportive of stay-at-home parents. There is a lot to do, and it's really fantastic raising young children here because they get to experience such a beautiful life. Not saying you can't experience that in other countries that maybe don't have these facilities, but it is a big point for me in enjoying being here at the moment, getting to experience that with our toddler. Another point is Medicare, which is the public healthcare system, which you can sign up to, and then Medicare will pay a certain percentage of a lot of procedures that you may need, also cover your hospital care. So because I'm currently pregnant, I see the hospital and I get to see a midwife, and everything is covered from like doctor's appointments there at the hospitals. Of course, it has to be a public hospital, but that care is also really fantastic here. And all of my expenses so far have been covered. It's just if you'd like to go to a private practice, like a private hospital or a private GP or specialist, that you will have to pay for that difference, or you can also get private healthcare insurance. So you will pay a certain amount and they will top up whatever Medicare doesn't pay. They pay the difference. So that is really fantastic because you don't have to have a medical aid like you do in some other countries to be able to go to the hospital. Another point is the weather. So of course, depending on which part of Australia you're in, the weather is generally really beautiful. Of course, if you're living in Melbourne, you can have all 4 seasons in one day, but generally in summer, it's quite warm. Even in winter, at the moment it's winter, the sun is shining outside, the sky's blue, and there is really fantastic weather. So you're not stuck indoors on, a lot of gloomy days. I mean, let me know down below in the comments if you do have really bad weather where you live in Australia, but from what I've experienced, it's fairly beautiful weather. The last point I want to talk about is for all the foodies out there, and that is the food culture. Australia has such a multicultural food scene, so you can basically get any type of food that you are craving, whether it's Indian or Chinese or Japanese food, Korean food, Italian food or German food, or whatever you are after, you could probably find it. And there's also a huge coffee culture here, so there are a lot of times you'll just see people meeting up during the week, on weekends, going out for brunch, going out for coffee. There is a huge food scene, and if you enjoy food, Australia is definitely a great place to be. So those are my 10 points on why Australia is a beautiful place to live. Of course, it all comes down to circumstance and, your family dynamic and, your culture and where you come from, whether you're very close-knit with your family. Immigrating is difficult in so many different ways. I might make another video on that one. The grass is not always greener on the other side. There will be difficulties that come with immigrating, of course, but yes, that's not what this video is about. These were just the 10 points on why Australia is great. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel down below, and hit that little bell notification so you don't miss any of our future videos. For now, I'm going to say bye, and I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!